Welcome to the Deep Dive, your ultimate shortcut to truly being well-informed. Today, we're plunging into a topic that might sound purely technical, but trust me, it's far more urgent and impactful than it appears on the surface. ATM Security Standards. There's a firm, critical deadline looming in 2025. And this isn't just about, updating hardware. It's a seismic shift that's fundamentally redefining the entire industry.
That's absolutely right. 2025 marks a real turning point, a non-negotiable line in the sand, basically. We're seeing new encryption mandates, specifically TR31 and TR34, and they're essentially rewriting the rulebook for how ATM operators manage their entire security posture. The core objective here is to tackle the ever-evolving cyber threats, and maybe most importantly, maintain that essential trust in cash-based transactions that underpins so much of our economy.
Right. So our mission today is to distill the most vital insights from the source material you've shared with us. We're here to offer you a direct line to understanding what these profound changes truly mean for businesses, and crucially, how to not just prepare, but, well, how to thrive amidst this transformation. Because let's be crystal clear, meeting this deadline isn't a suggestion, not at all. Missing it can lead to severe consequences, everything from network disconnection to a huge hit to your brand's reputation. This deep dive will clarify exactly what you need to know to not just survive, but maybe even leap ahead. So let's just underscore that urgency again. While security standards have been evolving for years, 2025 truly is the unmovable line. Payment networks, regulators, card brands, they are all demanding decisive action. There is no pushing this back, no last-minute extensions this time.
And the real-world consequences are stark. Existential even for some. Any ATM that doesn't fully support TR31 and TR34 by that deadline could face immediate shutdowns, or even be delisted from processing networks entirely. Think about that. For independent ATM deployers, IEDs, and financial institutions, this isn't just about ticking a compliance box, it's genuinely about business survival. Imagine your entire fleet of machines suddenly becoming like digital ghosts, invisible to the networks they rely on. Non-compliant machines risk significant regulatory pushback, and they will absolutely alienate customers who, quite rightly, expect modern security assurances with every single transaction. Your customer base, your revenue streams, your reputation, it's all on the line.
Okay, so the urgency is clear, very clear. But what specifically are these new rules shaking things up? Let's zoom in on the core technical shift. TR31, you mentioned it's foundational. Think of it as the DNA of modern key security, maybe. What exactly does it mandate, and why is it so central to all this?
Right. TR31 is essentially a meticulously defined protocol. It's about how cryptographic keys are packaged and secured. In the simplest terms, it ensures that sensitive key information isn't just encrypted. That's part one. But it's also intrinsically bound to specific metadata. This metadata acts like a digital passport and rulebook for the key itself. It defines how, when, and by whom that key can actually be used.
Bound to metadata, so the key isn't just locked away, it comes with its own set of rules attached. That sounds incredibly powerful, like a digital straitjacket for the key. Can you give us an example of how this metadata works, making it virtually impossible to misuse?
Precisely. A digital straitjacket is a good way to put it. We're talking about details like explicit key usage restrictions. So a key designed for, say, encryption can't suddenly be used for signing transactions. It's locked to its purpose. There are origin identifiers, so you know exactly where the key came from, which HSM, which process, and robust integrity checks to immediately detect if it's been tampered with even slightly. What's truly profound here, the big shift, is that this makes key management far more robust, entirely traceable, and crucially, immune to unauthorized use or duplication. That's the goal. Think of it this way. TR31 isn't just about encrypting a key. It's about putting a cryptographic leash on every single key. It means if a key is somehow compromised, its usage is so tightly restricted by that metadata, like a digital fingerprint, that it's practically useless to an attacker outside its intended context. That's a fundamental shift from just locking a key to essentially micromanaging its every potential move. This makes fraud exponentially harder for ATM deployers and really strengthens their audit compliance posture, too.
Okay, that clarifies TR31. Very important. So once these keys are packaged securely with TR31, the next challenge is getting them safely into the ATMs, right? And this is where TR34 comes in. You said it transforms a notoriously vulnerable part of the process, loading the keys. It sounds like a revolutionary change, moving beyond those traditional, often manual methods.
Absolutely revolutionary. The old way involved technicians manually loading encryption keys, often physically, at the terminal itself. Imagine the sheer logistical nightmare, not to mention the inherent security headache. Having to physically visit potentially thousands of ATMs just to update a single key is like having to hand-deliver a secret message to every single mailbox in the country. Highly inefficient, very risky. TR-34 completely bypasses this, replaces manual key handling entirely. It uses secure remote delivery through what's called public key infrastructure, or PKI. Imagine PKI as kind of a global ID system for digital keys. It uses digital certificates, think of them as highly secure digital passports, to verify beyond doubt that both the source sending the key and the ATM receiving it are legitimate. No human touch needed for the transfer itself, just cryptographically verified trust.
A digital handshake, essentially, so no more weak links in that key transfer process. What does that really unlock in terms of operational agility for, say, a large-scale deployer?
Oh, it's a complete game changer for operational efficiency. It really is. This shift brings significant benefits for ATM businesses. You get vastly greater scalability because you're no longer dispatching technicians constantly just for key updates. It drastically reduces servicing costs. Think fuel, time, personnel, and it allows for much, much faster response times for critical tasks like routine key rotation or, heaven forbid, in the event of a key compromise. All of this while meeting these stringent regulatory expectations. The sources we looked at highlight that TR-34 eliminates manual key handling, which can literally save thousands annually just in technician time and, of course, greatly reduces those error-prone manual tasks. This isn't just about security. It's a massive boost to your bottom line and operational flexibility.
Okay, TR-31 for secure keys, TR-34 for secure delivery. Makes sense. So what does this all mean for what you actually need to do? Let's get practical about navigating the path to compliance.
Right, the practical steps. First, the non-negotiable step. Evaluate your current systems and plan to update your infrastructure. You absolutely need to conduct a full inventory of your ATM fleet, every single machine. This means identifying every model and vendor you use, and crucially, finding out which of those already support TR-31 and TR-34, either out of the box or maybe via firmware updates. From there, you'll need to partner with certified vendors to deploy any necessary software or hardware patches. Don't try to go it alone. Crucially, your key management systems themselves must be modernized. They need to natively handle these encrypted key blocks and support the new remote loading processes via TR-34. This often involves integrating with hardware security modules, HSMs. HSMs provide those tamper-proof environments for secure key generation, injection, and storage. They're vital. And finally, don't forget staff training. It's absolutely critical. For those managing the back-end systems, your security teams, and anyone responding to field incidents, everyone needs to be up to speed.
That's a comprehensive roadmap. But for someone looking at their existing fleet right now, how would they know if their ATMs are already compliant or at least on the right track, maybe without launching a full audit immediately? Is there a quick check?
The best initial place to start is probably checking your device documentation, the manuals, the specs, but honestly, the most reliable route is to contact your service provider directly or the manufacturer. They should be able to confirm TR-31, TR-34 compatibility for your specific models and offer clear, verified upgrade pathways if needed. Don't rely on assumptions here. You need confirmation.
Good advice. Get it confirmed. Now, beyond just TR-31 and TR-34 specifically, where does this fit into the broader security landscape? What about things like PCI, payment card industry standards, and network certification? Is this just one piece of a much bigger puzzle?
Yes, that's crucial to understand. TR-31 and TR-34 don't operate in a vacuum at all. They are integral, in fact, they're mandatory components of the much larger PCI PIN security framework. This framework includes other critical elements too. Things like device approval processes, robust tamper detection mechanisms in the hardware, and comprehensive encryption key lifecycle controls, from creation to destruction. So, meeting TR-31, TR-34 compliance directly and significantly contributes to your overall PCI audit readiness. It's a big part of it. Non-compliance, on the other hand, well, it can impact your merchant status, lead to substantial fines, and even business interruptions if networks enforce the rules strictly. It's truly about your full security posture, and these new standards are a real linchpin holding it together.
Okay, so it plugs into that bigger PCI picture. Now, beyond the technical requirements and the stark penalties we talked about, I imagine there's a powerful, maybe almost unquantifiable benefit to achieving compliance. In an age where data breaches are, daily headlines, what role does simply being compliant play in building and maintaining customer trust?
You've absolutely hit on a critical point there. Trust is huge. In an era where cyber attacks dominate the news cycles, customers are increasingly wary of insecure systems, and rightly so. An ATM that is visibly modern, demonstrably secure, and certified to the latest standards, well, it can inspire far more confidence than you might expect. This isn't just about avoiding a penalty, it's actually an offensive play. It's a positive move. Publicizing your commitment to the 2025 ATM Security Standards Compliance can reinforce customer loyalty, and it can genuinely differentiate your brand in what's often a very competitive market. Maybe train your staff to answer basic questions about these security protocols. Share information on your website about your upgraded systems. Customers won't always ask, but when they do, or just see that you're addressing it, your clear, confident communication speaks volumes about your commitment to their security.
That makes a lot of sense. It's a trust signal. But it's also understandable to worry about the costs, right? All these upgrades, training, maybe new HSMs. It sounds like it could be a significant capital outlay, especially for smaller operators.
Yes, and it's important to acknowledge that. Compliance certainly involves expenses. Hardware, software licensing, training, audits, it adds up. But it's really crucial to reframe these costs as an investment with significant long-term ROI. Because the price tag of non-compliance is, frankly, exponentially higher. We're talking about potentially catastrophic business disruption if you're shut off from networks, significant customer loss, heavy penalties, and potentially being locked out of card networks entirely. That's game over for many. Compliance investments, on the other hand, actually improve operational efficiency over time, like we discussed with TR34. They drastically reduce the potential costs associated with security incidents, which can be enormous. And as we just discussed, they build customer loyalty and trust. For instance, that TR34 remote key loading capability we mentioned, it saves real money, thousands annually in technician time, and greatly reduces those error-prone manual tasks. It's also really worth actively exploring if network providers and the OEMs, the manufacturers, offer any incentives or assistance programs. Sometimes they do, to help defray upgrade costs. Don't leave money on the table. Ask the question.
Good point. Look for assistance. And finally, vendor cooperation. This seems absolutely vital here. If your vendors aren't ready, it sounds like you simply can't be ready either.
That's the undeniable truth, unfortunately. Few ATM businesses operate in total isolation. Most rely on third parties. Your success in achieving compliance depends heavily, maybe entirely, on the proactive cooperation of your third-party service providers. Your network processors, your equipment manufacturers, your software vendors. You must ask your vendors specific, pointed questions. Now, are their systems fully TR31 and TR34 certified? Not in progress, but certified. What are their concrete timelines for software and firmware updates? You need dates, and you need them well before the compliance deadline. Is their hardware security module solution, their HSM, seamlessly compatible with your specific ATM models and your existing infrastructure? If you're receiving vague answers, or worse, silence, that is a massive red flag, huge. It's time to escalate immediately, or perhaps even actively seek alternate partners who are ready. The clock is ticking relentlessly, and delays on the vendor side could directly, critically, and perhaps irrevocably impact your entire business operations. You can't afford that.
Wow. So a lot to take in. We've covered the undeniable urgency, the core technical changes with TR31 and TR34, the practical steps required for compliance, and those broader, often overlooked benefits around trust and even ROI. This 2025 deadline for ATM security standards isn't just a recommendation, is it? It's a comprehensive, industry-wide mandate with truly profound implications.
Absolutely. And what's truly fascinating here, maybe the final thought to leave people with, is that while meeting the 2025 deadline is unequivocally critical, it's not really the final destination. It shouldn't be seen that way. It should truly be seen as more of a launch pad for future resilience, a new baseline. Because as digital threats continue to evolve, and they evolve at an astonishing pace, so too will security requirements you can get on that. So don't just aim to tick the box for 2025. You should be thinking beyond it already. Considering emerging trends like biometric authentication at ATMs, the continued rise of contactless transactions, even for cash withdrawal, and even things like AI-powered fraud detection, which are already starting to reshape the industry. The more proactive you are now in establishing this robust security foundation with TR31 and TR34, the better position you'll be to tackle whatever comes next in this rapidly accelerating landscape. It's about future-proofing.
Indeed. A launch pad, not a finish line. That's a great way to frame it. We encourage you, our listeners, to reflect on the implications of these changes for your own operations and really consider how being proactive now, moving swiftly to meet this 2025 deadline, will strategically position you not just for compliance today, but for enduring success in an increasingly digital and, let's face it, increasingly challenging world.